Yankees Files podcast. We are back. I'm Will Harris. You're Stephen Tarpley. And
Wow.
the rest of you are fans of the only team that's currently playing the Angels. I just had to check the television to make sure I was thinking of the right team. That team is, of course, the New York Yankees. Steve, the internet melted down because the Yankees got swept by the Red Sox. There's plenty to get into. A certain large man, formerly known as Mike, is back. But prior to all that, how are you doing?
I'm all right. A little frustrated just right now, unrelated to anything baseball, as we talked about before. Kind of a comedy of errors occurred just moments before hopping on this pod. So if you're looking for me to be a little pissed off about what just happened, your odds have increased in the last 10 or 15 minutes. But no, I mean I'm fine. I mean I hated that series. It sucked. I had no fun watching it, and I feel like people don't understand that when you say like, hey, things are going to be okay. They assume, how are you not mad? I had like multiple times people like, how are you not mad about this? How doesn't this bother you? I'm like, dude, it bothers me losing. Do I acknowledge it bothers me a little extra because it's the Red Sox? Yeah, 100%. It's annoying. But in terms of how I'm evaluating the quality of the team, these games mean as much as any other game. Emotion is a whole different element of it. The gamesmanship of playing Boston and the rivalry and in division, that just doesn't factor in as much as it does for a lot of other people. So,
yeah, I hear you. I think, sucks losing. As we've discussed, when the team loses, it feels like they're never going to win again. And when the team wins, it feels like they're never going to lose again. And that was how last week went in a nutshell. They swept Kansas City and it felt like things were amazing. And not only could they win big, they could win small and they would get the hits and they would make the pitches. And then they went to Boston and they didn't get a single hit, it felt like. And then when they did, they couldn't score in extra innings and, whatever else. I think it's kind of funny, honestly, that the Yankees had a series in which they scored like 8 runs per game against Boston and lost. And then they had a series in which they allowed like 2 or 3 runs per game against Boston and they lost. It's like, I was talking to my grandmother about this, actually. She was like, well, aren't the Red Sox good? And I said, I don't know if it's anything about like unique to the Red Sox that made the Yankees play the way they did. And I think that point is bolstered by the way this second series went, because it looked entirely different. It's not like the Red Sox are this juggernaut offense that nobody can contain, and that's why they played so well against the Yankees.
Less so now, too.
Exactly. I'm still proud of... I tweeted something like, if you want your job to get transferred to California, you should consider becoming the best player on the Boston Red Sox.
Pretty good. That's weird that you say that. It is all California teams, like every time, isn't it? Where'd Nomar go? Did he go to the Dodgers? Where'd he go? That's an older one, but I know like
he went to the Cubs before the Dodgers.
He did. It was the Cubs. It was the Cubs. Yeah.
But yeah, Manny went to the Dodgers, Mookie to the Dodgers, Devers to the Giants, and obviously Bogarts, though it was in free agency, went to the Padres.
Yeah. That's funny, man. That's funny.
It is. So that's weird of them, but I won't miss that guy. I can tell you that much. No. Holy cow.
We won't have to see him again, barring a World Series, until 2027. I don't think they play the Giants next year, somebody was saying. So we might not see Devers for a long time.
They won't see him in New York. They'll play him in San Francisco.
Oh, they do play him in San Francisco. Oh, okay.
All right, because it's every team every year.
I never double-checked that. Is it every team every year? Is it still?
It's every team every year. Yeah.
I don't think I fully had digested. I think I just gave somebody bad information about that a little bit ago then.
Sorry, you're also like, they're going to play the Orioles 19 times this year.
Well, no, I know they don't do
that. 2017
I thought they had increased nationally, like interleague play. I didn't know they did literally every team.
Yeah,
but they do because they do one
every team every year.
But they just don't do both places. Yeah, okay.
Exactly.
Now that I'm thinking about that, I do know that, but I forgot that I knew that.
But it's true that they won't see Devers in New York until 2027, and that I don't mind even one bit. That leads me into the first listener-follower question that I want to get into from Kenny Glantz at KMickAwesome on Twitter. Matt Chapman is likely out 3 to 4 more weeks. I think he went on the IL on June 8th. Now that Devers is in San Francisco, do you think the Giants move Chapman? If so, what would be a reasonable offer for the 32-year-old third baseman with 5 for 126 left on his deal? And I love Matt Chapman.
Oh, I love him.
I think he's so cool. I think he plays a sustainably good brand of baseball that should age relatively gracefully. He doesn't pull the ball enough, but he is a good hitter in spite of it. I don't think the Giants are going to move him.
No.
But I think there's one thing for us to consider. It's obviously not clear that Rafael Devers is willing to do anything except play third base and DH. And the Giants have the room to make him a full-time DH. So if they want to do that, they can do that, and they can pay him, and they can roster both guys. The only thing that makes me think that maybe they would explore trading Chapman is, though they've tried to spend money in the past, the Giants have never had this many big contracts on the books at one time between Adames, who was the largest free agent contract they've ever given out.
It's not going well either.
And it's not going great. Now Devers, and then Chapman's, $150 million deal or whatever it was when he signed it. We don't know if they really have the appetite to carry that much money committed to so few guys. And Chapman is the clear odd man out, given Devers being a third baseman. That's the only thing. I don't think they're going to move him. And it's not clear to me what it would take, because I think the big hinge in that trade would be how much are the Giants valuing the salary relief, and there's no way for us to really speculate about that. But it would have been insane to me 2 weeks ago or 2 days ago even to say, what would the Giants move Matt Chapman for? Now I think it's a little bit more reasonable.
I mean, I got to say, I think there's 0% chance. I don't think it's even more reasonable now. I don't think there's any way they move Matt Chapman right now. Anyway, I think that would defeat the entire purpose. They wanted to add a bat to the team and make the lineup better and everything. I mean, it would just be such a weirdly lateral,
and they are too good to be moving him at the moment.
And Devers is a better hitter, sure, but Chapman's a way better defender. So I mean, value perspective, I don't even know how much better Devers really is. I mean, I think he's ultimately,
I don't know that he is better.
He might not
value wise.
And so why would they go out and get the guy who's questionably less value and then trade the more value? Yeah, I mean, it doesn't
I don't know.
Make
what
any
if
sense.
Buster Posey's an idiot? I don't think he's an idiot anymore. I think he's very smart, but
I don't know about that either.
I don't know. I'd like it.
They're looking to win. They're clearly spending money and looking to win. I think the Adames deal looks crappy already, which is unfortunate. I like Willy Adames a lot, but
I think that Willy Adames can save that situation. I think he's
I think with the defense not being as good as worrisome.
That is concerning.
Because that you kind of need that foundation for him if he's not going to hit.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, honestly, until you brought that up, it wouldn't even have crossed my mind that they would trade Matt Chapman. I think there's the irony that they already do have a third baseman. It's the same situation as the Red Sox.
It is very funny.
But Posey was saying they wanted to play
that
first.
Steve hates your idea.
I don't hate your idea. If they want to trade Matt Chapman, the Yankees should be all over it. I just don't think it's a realistic situation right now at all.
I agree. It is funny that they're talking about him potentially playing first base. So we got a few different questions, all relating to Ben Rice's apparent lack of luck. We got one from Waleed Hirani, one from Alex at T00GE2_, is it? Oh, just 2. Basically, a bunch of people asking, look, I know we all think Ben Rice is getting really unlucky, but is there anything Ben Rice is doing that causes him to get unlucky? So I looked at his spray chart for outs hit 105 miles an hour or harder this year, of which there have been 33, which is too many. And obviously you have your, fly balls that are hit just a bit too high that die at the wall, and you have your ground balls. But what I expected to see what felt like a logical explanation to me was Ben Rice is hitting line drives into right field at Yankee Stadium, and because the right fielder can position himself in a way that suppresses BABIP thanks to the short porch, like that's what it is. These would get to the ground in any other stadium.
Right.
And it's not that. Of the 33 outs on balls hit 105 miles an hour or harder, 17 of them have come on the road. And of the 16 that came at Yankee Stadium, all but like one or two do not fit the definition of what I just described. There are some bad luck barrels, like there are balls to left center and dead center, but like there may be an explanation that has to do with spray and defensive positioning and all of that, but it's not the hypothesis that I had.
Yeah, no, I get that. I have been wondering about that myself. I was only laughing a moment ago because I actually don't have the feed up, but just looking at game day, Ben Rice just hit a 73.7 mile per hour single. So
that's so dumb.
That's, maybe that's the universe doing something. I don't know. But
maybe.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It's weird. Like, I don't know if I'm trying to think of somebody else recently who has had this big of a spread that lasted for this long, who really was good, who really did come around to it. It's just so strange. Like the Woba spread is just ridiculous. And it's been getting to such an extreme. And then you're seeing I think also some just worse plate appearances also mixing in with it. So then you have this bad luck and some bad play, and that compounds to make it look like, holy hell, Ben Rice has just done nothing. Like he can't hit the ball. He can't. And I don't know what to make of it, because he did this last year too. Like there are players who are just sustainably have bad luck. And what does that say about, I really don't know. I mean, he is hitting the ball on the ground more the last couple of weeks. That is a thing. He is doing.
He is.
Ironically, I think it came immediately after a podcast we recorded where I lauded him for not hitting the ball on the ground.
Which was a good thing to give him credit for, because it's a good thing when you're doing that.
And Judge hit a 109 single.
Oh,
that's good.
How about that?
Yeah. Let's see if Bellinger can do anything. I don't like recording when
Sorry,
the game's on.
Joel, not Alfonso Soriano. Yeah, it's tough recording when they're playing, but someone had obligations.
Look.
Yeah.
Well, look, today, honestly, I don't know. This was all you today. The time I looked, the last little bit was me, but
no, that's true. Anyway, couple other questions that we'll just run through here. Drew at Drew Clugs asked, how often would you like to see each of the guys who's going to be losing some playing time with our log jams play? What would be your Stanton, Rice, Goldie split? Which I think is, with Stanton back, we kept avoiding this. I kept saying, we'll address the logjam. I don't think this team is actually capable of having a roster crunch, all that stuff.
Right. We're here.
We'll cross the bridge when we come to it. But here we are. As of 7:27 p.m. on Monday, they have 4 healthy outfielders plus Paul Goldschmidt, Ben Rice, and Giancarlo Stanton. And they have to do something with that group of people.
Yep. Yeah, I don't know. And today Jason sat, right? That's the move. Oh, Bellinger. Sorry. I don't know, man. I this is why I hate having the game on while we're playing. Stan's about to take his first at bat. Everybody knows what's going to happen too. We're sitting here all excited about things, and people know. But I don't know, man. Like, Jason hasn't been playing as well. Goldie hasn't been playing as well. Bellinger has kind of not been playing as well, but also quality of contact wise has been really keeping it going for the most part. He hasn't really dropped out that much. And then Rice is in the weird zone. So it's like everybody kind of has a pro and a con about them. I feel like there is no obvious bat that you like, okay, well, this is the guy we have to have in there. So I think you just see who gets hot, who doesn't. I hate not playing people. That's the problem. I hate giving. I think regular playing time is an important element of this, as Stanton hits a 101 ground out. I don't know. I don't envy Aaron Boone for having to make these decisions. I do get worried about people sitting. I do think it messes with their timing and everything else. I think regular playing time is best, and it almost seems like you hurt everybody by only playing them sporadically a little bit and giving them these days off that they don't really want or need. So that's challenging. I think Goldschmidt, honestly, maybe is the guy that should start sitting a little bit more, especially against
Mm-hmm.
right-handed pitching. He doesn't do anything against right-handed pitching, and he hasn't all year.
Yeah.
So that's a good lane to occasionally make sure Rice is at first, then Stanton can DH. What would you do? I don't think there's no answer here. It's just it's an opinion.
Yeah. I mean, I think there's no answer, you're right, and it sucks to bench playable guys every day, which is what you're going to have to do. I would be extremely gentle with Giancarlo Stanton. Like, I might not even play him in a back-to-back until, like, after the All-Star break. I just see no need to. And I don't know if it keeps him healthier or not, but if there's any chance it does, I'd probably do it. But I think what it comes down to is, well, I think it comes down to two things. The first thing I think it comes down to is, are you every single day trying to put out the lineup that you think will be best that day?
Yeah.
And that depends on your opinion of each player's true talent level right now and the matchup. And that, I think, would get you into a specific rhythm. You could have differing beliefs about whose true talent levels are highest and who adds the most value and whatnot. But, like, there would be a hierarchy that would emerge if you did it that way. The second is, what do I think I can get out of these players by playing them in a certain arrangement over the rest of the season? On a certain rhythm of playing time. How much can Jason Dominguez progress if I play him X number of times per week? Can Ben Rice evolve into a competent hitter against pitchers of both handedness? Can he solidify his first base defense to an extent where we don't ever feel like we have to play Paul Goldschmidt in an unfavorable matchup? Things like that would also play into it. And it's not clear to me how the Yankees will prioritize those things. And it's not clear to me what the Yankees' beliefs are about the true talent levels of guys like, I don't know how they would rank Grisham, Bellinger, and Dominguez against each other. I don't know how they would rank Ben Rice against opposite-handed pitching versus Paul Goldschmidt. And I don't know how much they want Giancarlo Stanton to play at this point. So it's really weird. And whatever answer you come to is not good because there's a good player on the bench. And that's both a good problem to have and a problem.
Yeah. I was thinking about the outfield. I do find it fascinating that it seems to be Bellinger is the one that will sit, if they're maneuvering. Yeah. And it's not Grisham, which I don't know. I think the way they're trending, I almost want Bellinger in there more. And Bellinger's way better, not way better, but he's better in center field, better outfielder.
He is.
No matter where you put him. And remarkably at this point, like, I don't know. I have to look at what the expected numbers are looking like on Grish recently. I feel like it's not as bad as the outcome has been, but I feel like you could sit Grish here and there. I feel like that's an option too, that you could have Bellinger and Dominguez in the same lineup, which does not happen very often.
Yeah, it's weird. I guess unless Judge DHs, it doesn't happen. And then
that's true.
Judge is going to probably DH very rarely.
Yeah, but you don't see Bellinger in center and Dominguez in left at the same time. And I think that's what was kind of the initial opening day thought was Bellinger center, Dominguez left.
Yep, I think you're right. Trent's rolling 100 plate appearance ex-WOBA is basically down to league average. So
he's been concerning me, man. I mean, and I think almost every episode I've been talking about concern that the Yankees are relying on Trent Grisham and Ben Rice. And as much as I love Ben Rice, but relying on two guys who have never
Rice has not had the same decline in his underlying metrics that Grish has.
But Grish also kind of, he's had some positive outlooks over the years, but this was really like, what the hell? And that's one of the things I harp on.
And his full season numbers still look good. They
do. But when people are looking at StatCast data, well, this is sustainable. He can keep doing this. Look at the red. And I'm like, that's true if he continues to hit like that. You know what I mean? Like what? Yeah. So if he starts hitting the ball less hard, guess what? It's not sustainable anymore. You know what I mean? Like it's still a result. Looking at that stuff are still results. They're not predictive. They're just telling you what happened. and it just gives you an idea whether or not it will continue to happen.
Yeah, and it's like we could have done that with Jorge Polanco, who has, colossally come back down to earth.
Right.
Unfortunate guy whose expected metrics have moved in the wrong direction is Anthony Volpe.
Yeah, they have. Really quietly, they have trended down. I looked at that the other day.
And I'm wondering, I was kind of never really buying too much into the fatigue narrative.
Yeah.
And to be clear, he still has the highest xWOBA of his career. He's still an above average hitter. He's still playing good defense. He's still walking more than he ever has. There's a lot to like about what Anthony Volpe has going on this year, but has not been trending positively of late. I never really bought into the fatigue thing all that much, and now I'm wondering if there's something to it. Like, I do wonder if he, in order to be an effective offensive player, he has to exert himself to a level that is not sustainable for him. And it feels weird that would be true because you're only taking 5 plate appearances a game, at most. But it does seem like there's some element of him needing to be fresher to excel, and that's just, I don't know, it's weird.
I think that could mean we gotta easy to forget that he had like multiple injury things recently that he just we forget about, and you're just moving on. But I mean, he got hit in the elbow or whatever recently by a pitch, right? He missed a game for that too, I think, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and like I gave so much talk about Ben Rice when he got hit in the elbow earlier in the year. And frankly, if you want to look at the numbers post that elbow hit, I don't still blame it. But ironically, they're not so great. But yeah, I don't know. You can look at those things. He also had the shoulder thing that one time, right? He like stretched out, did something with his shoulder. So he's had multiple things happen semi-recently. And I think that's all going to be part of it. And maybe that comes into the rest element of it. Maybe he just needs some days to let his body kind of calm down. And that's all stuff we can't measure. We don't know. I have no idea. I trust that the Yankees know these things better. I trust that Aaron Boone is talking to his players and knows that they would need days. He gives everybody else days. I don't, they must have an idea of what they're doing. And I kind of refuse to believe it's as simple as you just need to give him a day off more. I don't know. But it is trending down, and that sucks. So.
Last thing about just like concerning offensive trends, Ben Rice last year just absolutely dominated the strike zone.
His patience
and had an 88th percentile seager. It's kind of the opposite, actually. This year he has a 32nd percentile seager. So last year 86th percentile chase rate. This year 82nd percentile chase rate. Yeah. The difference is really he's taking a ton of pitches that he ought to hit this year. He went from 88th percentile to 83rd percentile to 39th percentile in hittable pitch take percentage.
He does that. That fits the eye test too. If you watch,
it does. It's not so unlike something we've seen from Trent Grisham in the past.
Yeah,
where he'll just take pitches he ought to swing at.
But even then, Trent was like walking an insane amount. Like I don't know what happened to Ben Rice's walks. He's basically league average walk rate right now, and that's not what I expected. I don't know what to make of Ben Rice. It's really strange. The whole thing with him is really strange. You look at his baseball Savant page, and it looks like he should be an amazing hitter, who's probably a little aggressive. An aggressively good hitter is what I look at when I see when I look at his Savant page. And that's not necessarily what I thought of when I thought of Ben Rice. I thought he'd be way more power patience kind of guy.
Yeah.
And it hasn't quite worked out that way this year. And the result, I just don't even know, man. I don't know.
I can't fathom him being a 243 BABIP hitter. Like, that just doesn't follow for me. He hits the ball too hard, and he hits it in the air a decent amount.
It's weird. I mean, like, obviously, like, hitting home runs is the best outcome. He hasn't hit a home run in a while. It's something as simple as that. Just lift the damn ball a little bit more and get it out. He's hit, I don't know how many low line drives at, like, 110 this man has been smacking around, which isn't something to be upset about.
The but 11-degree launch angle.
Yes. Where it's like, it's not a ground ball, but it's not a home run, and it's hit so damn hard. I don't
Yeah.
know. It sucks that more of those don't drop, but you know what can't get caught? It's one with a little higher launch angle that just leaves. And
Yeah.
he and Grish, when was the last time he or Grisham hit a home run? I mean, seriously, I don't know. It's been a couple weeks.
Yeah, it's been a while, hasn't
It's
it?
been a while, and that their home runs were driving the offensive production for so much. Aaron Judge always the constant engine, but so many home
Yeah.
runs from Rice and Grish that were supporting the team, and that's been gone. And nobody else has really picked it up. Wells kind of picked it up a little bit there.
Yep.
And Bellinger did for a while, but
I have
outside
liked
of
what
that-
I've seen from Austin Wells lately.
yeah, he's been one of the few guys lately who's been trending more upwards, I guess.
Yeah. All right, we should just talk about the Boston series so people aren't like, you didn't say anything about the Boston series. It sucked.
The only thing I saw from Boston was Devers got traded. That's all I know that happened. I don't
Oh,
have any
yeah.
other
No.
memories.
I
have
actually
no other memories
I
of
actually
it.
heard about that. That's crazy that happened.
Honestly, like I can't believe. I mean, could you imagine what the Yankees fan base would be doing in the same situation? I don't know what the comparable situation would be, but if after
we don't have a
sweeping
good
the Red
analog.
Sox, but after just this, the whole nature of you just swept
Yeah.
the Red Sox to get back into the season, you just called up your future young stars who are all here ready to now play. And it's like game on, man, game on, and then they just trade Devers. Like somebody might get shot in New York if this happens.
Yeah.
like
Yeah,
like
I
that-
think so.
they couldn't take not re-signing a guy they had for 1 year. It was testy
Yeah.
around here. That guy Devers was Boston. He was the Boston freaking Red Sox, and you had him locked up. He wasn't going anywhere. You didn't have to worry about Devers not being around. Yeah, and then he's just gone.
After what you went through with Manny and Pedro and Mookie and
you lost
Bogarts,
Yep.
you
finally
didn't have
had
to
one
worry
that you
about
could
him.
say, nope, he's ours.
He's going to be here for another
Thank God.
decade.
Yep. And then he's just gone. God. Who knows? Maybe
See,
it works out. We don't need to do a whole Devers thing. I don't want to delve in anymore. This is not Red Sox Files.
So what I will ask you is, we got a few questions that got at the idea of, hey, is it something about Boston and the way they played the Yankees that made the Yankees sloppy on the bases, or made the Yankees make errors, or made Aaron Judge have his worst series of the year?
That one.
And my take, like, there was some stuff. They pitched Judge differently than he has been pitched on the whole this year. They pumped him with fastballs, and they didn't throw him many sliders. And they threw him cutters, which teams have not been doing, and it worked well. That was weird.
Cutters and
But like the
curveballs.
fastball thing was very explainable. They threw him 22 fastballs, and like 18 of them were 96.8 miles an hour or faster. So like, yeah, if you can throw a million miles an hour, like throw fastballs. Some of the other stuff was weird. Do you think there's anything about what the Red Sox did in this series or the last one, which would be very different things, that like gave them an edge against the Yankees? Do you think they figured something out?
I would say mostly no. Almost entirely no. The one area, and we talked about this on Twitter, that it really is fascinating to me, and I need to do more digging or talk to people that know more, but two of their pitchers. Crochet was just Crochet. He's insane.
Yeah.
He pitched extremely well. Dobbins and Bayo both threw pitches frequently in their starts that they had barely thrown or not thrown all season long. And it's very, very weird. It seemed like a concerted effort to give the Yankees something that they hadn't seen before, and it worked extremely well. And that's frustrating. I don't know what to make of that. Dobbins is throwing like a 96-mile-an-hour splitter, just like multiple times
just
throughout
not
the game.
something anyone knew he could do, as far as I know.
It's funny because before the game started, they were like, I forget who did that game, but they were talking about, we were talking to Cora before the game, and Dobbins said that he has a splinter. He hasn't broken it out yet. And nobody talked about it. Nobody mentioned it the whole damn start as because it kept registering as a splitter. And I'm like, what the hell is that thing?
It's just
and
not,
nobody talked about it. I'm like, this guy is throwing 96-mile-an-hour splitters. Anybody want to like wonder about what's going on here right now? Because that's not that normal. And I guess he throws a splitter. His splitter is usually like upper 80s, low 90s. So it was not the same thing.
It's like a splitter.
It's a whole different fucking pitch.
Yeah.
I don't know what it was, but it was disgusting.
So weird.
Dobbins was honestly pretty gross that night.
Yeah, he was.
And Bayo, I don't know. I still don't think he's good, but I think he was throwing a cutter that nobody was ready for. It seemed that simple. Bats seemed cold. Luck was bad, and
luck was really bad.
Luck was bad, but it's when you compound luck with bad play that things feel like they did, and that's what happened.
The other thing I would say is one thing the Red Sox did effectively was just have right-handed bats.
In Fenway,
yeah. Like there were a couple times where it was just like, wow, I'd really like to have the platoon advantage here, and didn't.
Yeah, it was 3 lefties.
Hit a ball off the wall. Yeah,
that was frustrating. I mean, that Austin Wells ball to end game 2 was been a home run like every other time that ball's ever been hit or something ridiculous.
It was
like
not.
That, so.
It was not dissimilar. And then with the Narvaez ball that ended game 1, that's like caught in most nonsense. Other stadiums. Yeah, man, it was not unlike, and I don't want to dredge up this memory for people. It was not unlike when Bregman hit that like 255-foot home run in the ALCS, and Judge hit a ball that had been a home run literally every other time such a ball had been hit.
Yep.
And yeah.
That was with the roof open. I think we've done this exact exchange recently, but yeah, that was with the roof open that night, right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Oh man. Yeah. So it was disappointing, and winning is better than losing. And I think that is just like what it boils down to. Losing feels really bad, but I was on a train for like 2.5 hours on Saturday, and then I was on a train for like 2.5 hours again. No, sorry, on Sunday. Then I was on train for like 2.5 hours again on Sunday. And then I was on another train this morning because you convinced me that I should stop being on planes, but I still had to get places. Anyway, on one of my train journeys, I tweeted about how like no one game or no one series tells you anything authoritative about the true talent level of a baseball team.
Yeah.
And I implore people to remember that when they think about what the Red Sox series means or doesn't mean, or tells you or doesn't tell you about the quality of this Yankees team. And it's both challenging and at times disappointing to think about baseball that way, because like when the Yankees beat the Mets and they, exercise the demon of Juan Soto and Cody Bellinger hit that grand slam and whatever, like it would have been really fun to be like, oh, Yankees are the best team in the league. Like they just solidified themselves, Kings of New York, like whatever.
Right.
But no, it just means they won 2 out of 3 games. Like anything can happen in that number of baseball games. And it is helpful when a series goes poorly to remember that it tells you basically nothing in itself about the quality of a baseball team. Like, and the thing that people often don't want to grapple with that I like to point out is all the bad Yankees teams owned the Astros in the regular season.
It's true.
2021, they destroyed the Astros in the regular season. 2023, they destroyed the Astros in the regular season.
Made no sense.
Even 2018, they were better against the Astros than they were in 2017. Like, and then what do we do with that? It's just, I don't know. It's very silly. And then you've pointed out, a bunch of people have pointed out, like, all right, only the postseason matters if you win the series. But if you lose the series, it's how could you lose this series to your rival? The other thing I wanted to get to is I saw a number of people talking about effort. I would never presume to know how hard these guys are trying.
Yeah. That's an interesting one that you brought, because some people that I really like and respect, like top of the line people that I look to for baseball takes and I communicate with, saying like, they just came out flat, they had no energy, things like that. I'm like, what the hell is that? I don't know.
Yeah.
What does that mean? What? Because they didn't throw a bat after a K? Because they didn't like. I mean, are you implying that if you try hard enough, you will inherently get more hits or something? Like that's not how that works. We know that. Like, what is this? It's just emotion seeps in, man. It just creeps into everything, and you look for some explanation because it can't be that the Yankees just lost these games, right? That
it's
can't
also
be it.
Okay, so we're gonna indict them for not trying hard enough, apparently. But then when Carlos Rodon comes out and is fist pumping and screaming and yelling after striking out the side in game 1 of the ALDS. He needs to get his emotions under control.
Yeah,
so
it's
we're saying that we just as observers can know when a guy is trying not hard enough, when he's trying just the right amount, and when he's trying too hard or caring too much. Like, it's just a very funny thing, especially from, as you said, like pretty like sober, objective, analytically inclined people to go, yeah, this effort was really inexcusable. What do you mean this effort?
I know, man.
How do you know that?
It drives me crazy when I see those takes, because I'm like, who are you? Where are you at? Where are you in the club? Like, what is this based off of? Because they lost? Like, are
and
you
this gets back to like my beef. I say beef. I don't have beef with Ryan Garcia, but like our recurring bit about when he, during the White Sox series last year, said like, if there was ever a time Aaron Boone needed to rip into his guys, it's tonight.
Yeah.
And my response to him on the timeline was like, do you think that like Enyel De Los Santos pitches better if Aaron Boone gets angry at him? Like, or the White Sox hit like 470 on balls in play in that game.
Right.
And I was like, what would their BABIP be if Aaron Boone was really mad? Like it's this, and then he said something about effort in that exchange, and it's like, we can't know that. Like, we would have no idea how much they're trying or not trying.
And there's a difference between, like, who knows? Maybe it's true. Maybe it's true they didn't have enough
effort.
But
the point is,
but
you're saying something that you can't know. Yeah.
No, and you're just reading body language and Yeah. You see guys on a camera for a few hours every night, and you deign to understand that, or like they think that you know everything about how they're feeling, about what the composure of the clubhouse is, what Boone is doing to his players, all this stuff. And the same people that will criticize how people criticize Boone for not controlling the clubhouse will do this same effort level nonsense. It's like that is literally the same function, the same mental function that you are pulling right now. You think it's more reasonable, but it's not. It's the same thing. You're just making shit up. Yeah.
I had someone tell me that the Yankees, there's a mental block or a mental thing with the Yankees, and you wouldn't know it from their performance. You'd only know it from their performance against the Red Sox and Dodgers. You wouldn't know it from the Mets, because the Mets are also mentally soft. Right. But you would know it from the Red Sox and Dodgers. Like, what are we doing?
Yeah, man. I mean, that's why I was really having a hoot with the time. I mean, every time a series like this happens, you just get greatest hits just coming out. Like all of a sudden, unrelated to anything. Like, Boone didn't even to have any like impactful decisions at one point, and people are just like, nope, we'll never win with Aaron Boone as a pitcher.
Yeah.
It's like, what? I mean, okay. Like, I've always had this take. Like, I don't doubt that you've always had it, but why are you bringing it up right now? Like, it's hilarious, man.
You ever think about Gleyber Torres' 401 ex-WOBA?
Not often, because it would make me sad.
Yeah, it makes me sad. What do you make of the... It feels to me like the only lineup spot I don't like on this team is that of the infielder, wherever he may be, second base or third base.
Judge just hit a 110, 401-foot line out.
Are you kidding me?
I'm not kidding you.
Steve. All right, apologies to... This is bad radio, but I'm going to watch it. Oh my gosh, that ball was torched. Yeah, he just hit it too low.
I'm in such a bad mood with the outcomes of this team, but we had another one. Volpe hit a 101 line out to center field with runners on a minute ago. The luck is gotta... I made a joke about glove magnets with Ben Rice recently, and I don't know what to do with that, because you know what people... I don't know where we lost track of where we were at. But people that don't like statistics don't care about the fact that you hit the ball hard. And so there's a part of me that, even though I'm not cool with it, but like I can internalize what it means for Aaron Judge to hit a 110 line out, or Ben Rice to do that. I know that it's just going to increase the dumb low IQ pressure from the fan base on them, because all they're going to care about is an 0 for 1. They'll look at it the same as a K or a ground out or anything. They don't give a crap, because they're going to look at your batting average and they're going to see it's down. That's all they care about. And the noise gets louder, the chirping gets louder, and it's stupid. So like, I feel an extra level of just rage when I see your lineouts.
I'm with you.
I don't know where we were.
The Yankees play the Yankees are playing so many games in a row right now. They have 4, one of which will be complete by the time people hear this podcast, against the Angels. Then they host Baltimore for 3. Then they go to Cincinnati. So, like, the next time we're podcasting, we will hear, or we will have seen the Yankees play the Angels and the Orioles. But we don't have the benefit of seeing those games right now. And we still have to rate our confidence out of 10 in this baseball team. And I just found out that the Yankees released Anthony DeSclafani 4 days ago. What is this? And he's already been picked up by the Diamondbacks?
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
And he already played for them?
Must have been tonight. The Yankees have a 351 expected batting average right now. They have 5 hits, gosh. 5 hits over 100 miles an hour, and they don't have any runs.
Cluster luck. It's a real
well, I should say five balls, not hits.
5 batted balls. Yeah.
Yeah, 5 batted balls. Man, I really struggle with the bad luck stuff. It drives me up a wall. It really does. Yeah. I don't know what to make of it, because at a certain point it keeps happening and you don't know who to blame.
Apparently the average distance on balls with the characteristics of the one Judge hit is 426 feet.
Dead balls.
We may have to ask if the Yankees are getting dead-end balls.
Yeah,
Ryan Spader is in shambles.
Yeah, I know. God, that guy sucks so much. Yeah, I mean, I think everyone is, right. That's what it looks like. Looks like it's a league-wide ball.
Yeah, but
issue.
It looks like the Yankees are getting especially dead-end balls, because everything is a conspiracy against the Yankees.
You know what? Maybe they saw how many of the home runs the Yankees were hitting, and they said, "Hey, we'll give you guys dead balls." I don't think that at all. But
how many shooters do you think there were in the JFK assassination?
One for every person on a baseball diamond.
Wow. I had never heard of the 9th shooter conspiracy. That's an interesting one.
They all use
I
code
just
names.
think there's one on the grassy
first baseman,
knoll.
Second baseman, third baseman.
Oh, yeah, no, that's a good one. Yeah. That could be.
This is actually well known if you've read the JFK Files, Will. Okay.
Oh.
It's called the Diamond Theory. The Diamond 9 Theory.
The Diamond Theory of presidential assassination.
Yes. Yeah.
This is gone to a place I didn't expect. I was going to take
You asked the question.
Yeah, because we were talking about conspiracy theories. But I didn't realize you were going to say 9. I thought you were going to say there's one on the grassy knoll, and then you brought in the baseball thing, and then I was going to talk about how the grassy knoll might be Tal's Hill. And, anyway, Texas. So
this has been there's been no direction to this one at all. And that's fine.
Yeah, I mean, look,
it was a shit series. It sucked.
So, actually, this is something I was thinking of before we get into confidence. What do you think the reactions on the internet would have been if the Yankees had gone 1-2 against Kansas City and 2-1 against Boston, or even gotten swept by the Royals and then swept Boston? Because I don't think there's a single person of the ilk we are talking about who realizes that is the same record.
Well, they would argue it's not the same in theory. Like, obviously the numbers are the same, but they would argue it's not. I mean, obviously winning the Red Sox, people would be happier being the Red Sox because it's A, the Red Sox, B, it happened more recently, which is really the more important thing, is that it happened more recently.
Thing is big.
That's all it is. If the Yankees sweep the Angels right now, World Series is back on, everyone's fine. No one cares. So I don't know, man. It's just we're dealing with idiots in this fan base, man. The emotional children who just want to see wins. They want to see a World Series. They've been begging their mom to bring them the World Series cookies for so long, and they just want them, and they can't get them, and they don't understand why they can't get them. They just want them so bad.
World Series pizza rolls.
Such a crappy freaking metaphor. See, I am in a bad mood for multiple reasons, but part of it is losing to the Red Sox. I hate it.
Anyway,
I hate
Steve,
that they were kind
your
of brought
confidence
back in.
out of 10 in the Yankees?
I don't know. Where was I last week?
8.6.
8.6. Let's go 8.5. It's fine.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think that's fair. Like, it would be hypocritical of me to have that tweet thread about like the true talent level of a team and then reduce my assessment based on one series, which I think is the beautiful thing about us doing the confidence every week. We should have like 2 a year. Steve, the last thing I want to get into is
So are you staying at 8.5? You dodged the question?
Yeah, I'm staying at 8.5.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, this is not your 150th episode of the Yankees Files podcast.
Right.
This is the 150th episode of the Yankees Files podcast. And first of all, I just want to thank all the people who have been along for the ride, whether it's from episode 1 or episode 150. We appreciate you engaging with us, listening, following on Twitter, watching, whatever you do. We appreciate you being here. Not that we wouldn't be having these conversations anyway. Not to say we don't need you. We need you. We love you. We appreciate you, etc. It's been really cool. I've very much enjoyed both iterations of this podcast, both the Will and Whipple version and the Will and Steve version. I want to thank you for joining as a full-time co-host, because the situation in which this podcast was not going to continue was solo Will. Nobody needs that. It would not have been good. I think this season has been great. I'm glad the Yankees have played well. Whipple and I often joked in 2021 about how we picked an awful year to start a Yankees podcast. So I'm glad this year is not going the way that year went. I'm not going to rehash all my favorite memories of the Yankees Files podcast, because that would be weirdly self-aggrandizing and I don't need to ramble for that much time. But I want to thank all our listeners for coming along for the ride for as long as they have. I hope we have another even better 150 episodes ready to go from here. And I want to thank you for allowing the podcast to keep going, which you are a huge part of.
Was that directed at me? Was that thank you?
You, Steve.
For Steve? Oh, wow.
Hashtag Steve.
No, thank you, man. It's been really cool being here. I mean, it's always kind of surreal listening back to these, because I used to listen to them every week, and then to hear my voice on them is still bizarre and strange and fun. It's a really cathartic thing to come on here and just talk baseball. So this has been a fun season to do it, with lots of change and things to analyze and discuss every week. I think there's, in my head, every time we close out an episode, I think of like 3 or 4 things that we could have talked about that we didn't, which is happening in my brain right now, but save it for another time. But this has been a ton of fun talking with you every week, and hopefully the season just keeps going well. Win some games. Win tonight. Still 0-0 right now. You guys already know what happened listening from the future.
What's that, like, dramatic irony where the author knows something the character, or the reader knows something the character doesn't know?
Right. Boy, I sure do hope the Yankees win today.
That's awesome. All right. With that, any parting shots from you? Otherwise, I'm going to wrap this up.
No, I'm good. Until next time. Let's win this game.
Very nice. Well, people can keep up with everything we do at yankeesfiles.com. They can follow us on Twitter, where we are at Yankees Files. Our podcast is available wherever you get your podcasts. We hope you'll rate, review, subscribe, give it 5 stars, download it, listen to it a bunch of times, whatever it is. If you like it, we hope if you don't like it, you only engage with it in ways that juice our numbers and don't provide negative feedback. Full video podcast is available on Spotify, as well as on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/@crosstownsports. We will be back similar time, similar place next week to recap the series against the Angels and against Baltimore. And until then, let's go Yankees.
Let's go Yankees.
And I say, hey, yeah, 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 hey, yeah, yeah. I say, hey, I hate you for that. Hit ball over